Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Today is September the 19th, 2025, and we are going to be recording and trading the MNQ futures on the 800 tick chart. Hope everybody has had a great week so far. We had FOMC behind us now, and we're now looking forward to option expiration Friday, which typically can present some interesting price action opportunities. My name is Sam, and I am so very honored to be here with you guys trading live. You guys can learn, hopefully, my trading system. We can kind of go from there. Let's go ahead and look overnight at the price action. So we made a brand new all-time high yesterday on the NQ, 24,815 and change. We finally broke this bigger downward trend line here around 8:30 this morning. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And I'm going to go ahead and mark the overnight high. Technically, we are still in the overnight session until 9:30 a.m., which is in about 10 minutes, and that's when the New York market open will occur. Updating this bigger trend line here that we're respecting. This is the overnight low over here from the London session. And did this work? Did. Okay. All right, so we finally get a pullback here. We have about 10 minutes till market open. There is no news today during our session. See. I'm going to draw this downward trend line here. Let me mark some other levels that we might be running into. This is the high we ran into yesterday. Right here. This could act as resistance. Mark my other potential resistance levels up here. Of course, the all-time high. So game plan this morning, we either continue in this uptrend and retest the prior all-time high or 800, or we go down and fill the gap right here around VWAP. So we closed yesterday around 700, and then the 5 p.m. futures close was around 713. Or we do both. We can come down, retest VWAP, and then continue our trend higher. We'll see what the market has in store for us. Right now, this is the trade that triggered higher. I don't typically like taking trades 15 minutes before market open, but we'll go ahead and mark it. So this here would be the signal candle. This candle here would be the trigger candle. It broke to the upside, this candle. And your first target would be your 1-to-1. So your stop loss would be below this area here. And your target would be up here. Now again, I'm not personally taking it because I don't like taking trades 15 minutes before market open, I found that they're not consistent enough for my liking. There we go, it hit target. And this dotted pink line is where I keep track of the runner. If I was in this trade, my runner would be moved to here, the bottom of this candle, because this candle broke this candle to the upside. Now you can see the runner's been taken out. So this would have been a nice 8 point winner here, but that's okay. We're going to be patient, just wait for the market to open. And if you're wondering what this dotted yellow goldish line is, it's what I call the golden ruler. It's what helps me keep track of the swings, the swing lows and the swing highs. So in this case, this candle was a legit pullback and we made a brand new high. So this is our most current swing low. And you'll notice that swing lows and swing highs are typically areas of support and resistance. So I like to keep track of that so I'm aware of where I might be running into some potential problematic or battleground areas. Here we draw a new downward trend line. And here we have another potential setup, but again, I'm not taking trades a few minutes before market open, so this did trigger higher. Market's going to open in about 2 minutes. And again, this is why I don't like taking trades right before market open. It's kind of a wild card. We're now technically in this trigger here because it bounced off of the standard deviation level. But again, we're not taking any of these trades. All right, we have about 40 seconds or so before market opens. Golden ruler moves up. Our overnight high is in progress. All right, market just opened. This trade stopped out. This trade is the one that triggered lower, and it just hit target, and now the runner got stopped out. Okay, so let's keep track of where we are right now. And the golden ruler moves up to where the high is. So we can't take this trade higher here. We have a bunch of resistance overhead, but we're going to go ahead and mark it. And it stopped out. Now this trade triggered lower, but we got support below us with these trend lines. These trend lines right here. So we're just going to sit on our hands anyway. Typically when the market first opens up, it's very, very, very fidgety. Trying to make up its mind on what it wants to do. And so now we actually have this trigger here. But again, can't take it. See, immediate rejection up here. Boom, stop loss. And now we have this trigger there. Golden ruler moves slightly down. It does hit target. So we're trying to break out of this potential zone. But buyers immediately step in. So we're going to delete all this. This trade is done. Okay, so now technically this is the trigger that happened here because it retested the EMA and then went down. We can't take it anyway, so. There's a lot of trades we can't take right now. If you draw the appropriate trend lines, you'll see why we can't take most of these trades. All right, so now this is the next trade that triggered lower. Retested the EMA. And it worked. Again, we couldn't have taken it anyway, so. But at least we are starting to form some form of a trend here. The runner's been taken out. Golden ruler moves down. Technically, the trigger would have been here because, and it was a bounce off of the 50 area and the standard deviation level, but we couldn't have taken it anyway because we had the trend line in the way and we have golden ruler in the way. So there's a lot of these trades that are triggering are just not following all of our rules. And now we actually have this bearish trigger in the middle of a bullish trigger. And then the bearish did work, but again, we couldn't have taken it. So a lot of back and forth, choppy action this morning. the runner's out. Okay. We have this trend line. So this technically triggered up here, but we couldn't have taken it because of the trend line and the 50 level. But we'll mark it. So this trade worked. Our runner's at break even right now, and our golden ruler moves down. This would be a trigger higher, but we have golden ruler in the way, so we can't take it. And there you have it, stop loss. But this could be a short right here. And I think I'm going to get stopped out. Yep. That's okay. Okay, let's keep track of where we are now. Right now, we're not really in any trade, so this would be the trigger lower here, but we have the trend line and the 50 level. Yeah, this price action is very, very crappy. All right, let me reload my history here. Okay. Golden ruler moves to here. The bearish trade did work, and I believe the runner is still running. And the golden ruler moves down to the 50. All right, our runner is out. But this would be a bearish trigger here to retest VWAP if we get it. All right, go down to retest VWAP. might get stopped out again here, which would be really frustrating. All right, this is the bullish trigger down here. We wouldn't have taken it anyway. We were in the middle of that bearish trade. The golden ruler now moves below us. Golden ruler, I moved the wrong line. Okay, so we're going to keep track of this runner here. Okay, the runner has been taken out right there. This is a trigger lower. It worked. And the runner's been taken out. Okay. Just not a lot of consistent. This would be a trigger higher. Just not a lot of all right, let's see if we can get our first winner today. There it is. Okay, I have a runner now. All right, my runner's been taken out. Let me update this line now to look like this. And then we have this high and lower high, so we have another macro trend line like that. And we have a micro trend line like this. This is another trigger higher here. Not sure I would take it though. But this would be a trigger for about 7 points. And then okay. This would be a trigger lower. And I'm going to take my profit right before 750. I'm trying to think what would have actually triggered first. This is the candle I think that triggered first, which Means we probably shouldn't have taken this trade, but here we are. I think this is going to be a stop loss for me. Maybe it comes down. Would be nice if it did. All right. Okay, it worked. My runner has been taken out, technically. Trying to get out. Let me just go ahead and... Okay, maybe I'm getting a break here. All right, finally, my runner's out. Okay, now we still are technically in the bearish trade because it didn't hit its target. So I can't take this bullish yet. And we're also coming up against this trend line. Okay, this trade finally worked. Can move our runner to break even or slightly below break even. Delete this. We can't really take any of the bullish triggers here, unfortunately, because we have this trend line here, and if we break this trend line, we have this next trend line there as well. So we're just going to have to sit on our hands. Unless we... Yeah, no. This was the trigger here. Okay, so this trade worked. Now we got to keep track of the runner, which is right slightly above break even. Delete this line. We do have this line now. Okay, so the bullish trade is over. Unfortunately, we can't take any bearish triggers. And we can't take any bullish triggers either, which stinks. Wow. Okay. This trade triggered higher and it hit target. Retested 800 and failed. Technically, we're still in this bullish trade. We have a runner, even though it happens. There's no way we could have caught that trade. It happened in a mere second. I don't know if the runner got taken out here or not. I think it went down, then up. So I think the runner is still running. I could be wrong. Okay. All right. And I've marked these levels here. As you can see, we have this next level here at 806. And then after that is the all-time high, which I believe is where the buyers are trying to take this thing, or at least retest it. All right, runner's been taken out. We have rejection of the standard deviation level. This is a trigger lower, but we can't take it because of the EMA. We also have rejection of 800. So now we have two triggers, which, you know, we're in a bit of choppy waters if we keep getting that. Our golden ruler moves all the way up here. Okay, we have a runner. Delete this level now. The runner's been taken out. We are very close to the all-time high. We do have two uptrends. We have this uptrend. And we have this uptrend. This would be a trigger higher to retest the all-time high. I don't know if we have... We do have the room for it, so... We do have the room to take this if it triggers. All right, it stopped out. Unfortunately, at this point, we're super extended. So I am not going to be taking this trade higher, because the all-time high could present as a major level of resistance. So this did trigger higher. We did test, you can see, boom, immediate failure here. Profit taking at all-time highs. This is a trigger lower, but we can't take it. And this is a trigger higher. So we're in two trades right now. All right, so the reason why we didn't take the bullish trade is because we're in the bearish trade. It looks like the bearish trades worked. And our runner is right there. Golden ruler moves all the way to the top. And I believe our runner just got taken out. Okay, so now we actually have room if we want to go back to the downside. We do have room. We just triggered higher on this candle here, but we don't have any room to go to the upside. So we have a trend line here. Okay. All right, so this triggered lower. While you're in this bullish trade here, we're going to mark this lower high. So the bearish trade worked, and I believe the bullish trade's probably going to stop out. I don't know. Anything can happen. Where is my... All right, I'm keeping track of the runner. All right, so the bullish trade is done. As in it stopped out. All right, we're still running on the bearish trade. Okay, we have a double bottom here. The runner is technically still running. All right, we broke the double bottom. And with that, we also move our golden ruler. All right, the runner is still in. Okay, runner's still running. All right, that's 10 o'clock alarm. See what happens here. Runner's been taken out. And this is a trigger higher, but we got 800 in the way. See immediate rejection at 800. So we need to be patient. We get another trigger higher here to go back to 800. I'm not sure I like it. So, all right. So we also get a bearish trigger. I had the trend line in the way, unfortunately. Otherwise, we would have taken that bearish. We also have a bullish trade that's in progress as well. We have been avoiding a lot of false positive trades because of the trend lines, which is good. Excuse me. I guess technically this would have been the bearish trigger here because it was a retest of 800 and it did hit target. Then you're in this bullish trade now, which we wouldn't have taken anyway because we have 800 in the way. And now we have a bearish trigger, but we have the golden ruler below us. And we're still in the bullish trade. That's not working. So there's been a lot of triggers in both directions, which just shows you how choppy the price action has been this morning. Okay, so that's why we didn't take the bearish trade. The bullish trade's still intact. And now we're in a, if you zoom out here, you can see we're in a big wedge. We're stuck in between this big wedge. Okay, we finally hit the target on the bullish trade. We're going to keep track of the runner, which is right here below 800. We might be running into this downward trend line now. This is a trigger to go down, rejection of 800, but we have the EMA in the way. So If the EMA wasn't there, I would have taken this bearish. See immediate bounce off that EMA right there. Crazy, huh? Now we actually have this trigger higher. But we have the trend line in the way, which I feel like we're trying to break out of, but just having a hard time. Wow, look at that. Following all our rules, we have prevented so many stop losses today. Our golden ruler does move up to here, and then this closed below it, so now our golden ruler is up here. So this creates this immediate downward trend line. And then we have this bigger macro trend line now. So this is a trigger higher, but again, we can't take it. We've been getting all these triggers in the middle of these levels, these support and resistance levels, and so like just has not been working. Most of these trades have not worked. At some point, something has got to give, and we're going to break out of this bigger wedge that we're in. But the price action today has been very tricky. Has not been very straightforward. But if you can learn to navigate tricky price action and trade really well, you can trade in any environment. This is a trigger lower, but we're still in this bullish trade. So the bearish trade worked and the bullish trade stopped out. The golden ruler held. I just want us to get out of this range, so maybe we can finally do that. Okay, our runner's still up here. Hasn't stopped out yet. We move it down. Okay, we can start deleting some lines now that are no longer relevant. We are approaching this next trend line area. This is a trigger up, but you're still, runner has not been taken up. But this would have been a trigger up. Retest of the standard deviation level to go back up, but you do have the EMA also in the way. Our runner does move down to here. Okay, runner's out. We are keeping track of this trade here. And there it is. There's the bullish trade. Man, our runner's at break even right now. And our runner moves up to here. We actually do get a bearish trigger, but we still have a runner running to the upside. Bearish trigger because rejection of 800. Boom, worked. But I couldn't have taken it anyway. And now our bearish and bullish trades are done. So we are currently not in any trade. So we're going to look for the next setup and see if it actually fits our rules and if there's room for it. And so the next trigger is actually this candle here. We can't take it because it retested the EMA, closed above it, and triggered higher. So we're in this bullish trade now. We have 800 in the way. We have this trend line in the way. We have this trend line in the way. We have golden ruler in the way. So we can't take it, but we have to mark it. On a choppy day like this just helps you to stay out of trouble. On a trending day, oh boy, you're going to take a lot of really good trades with pretty decent runners as well. Buyers are trying to break through 800. Sellers are trying to defend 800. So this is definitely a battle zone. You can see sell, buy, sell, buy. Sell. Now we actually have a trigger to the downside, but we can't take it. We have standard deviation. We had this trend line in the way. You can see standard deviation is holding here, but we could break it finally and hit target. There it is. And you're probably asking me, Sam, why are you playing it so safe? Because I'm looking for A+ setups. I'm looking for trades that have a very high probability of working without any potential areas of resistance or support. Resistance when we're going bullish and support when we're going bearish. So the runner is running now. Runner is out. All right, so this is what I wanted to tell you about yesterday. We would have taken this candle bearish, right? Because it broke the trend line, it broke the standard deviation, and it may or may not work, right? And it doesn't look like it wants to work. And the problem with what we were doing yesterday was we weren't recognizing where it actually first triggered, which is here. And that's why we ran into a lot of problems yesterday. We weren't recognizing and documenting and keeping track of the trades that worked first. Now, this is actually a trade we do take lower here because the runner did stop out. We are in a brand new trade. And so this is where our actual next trade is going to be. All right, we hit target. Now I'm just moving my runner to break even. But notice how easy it is when you finally hit a setup where there's no potential things to get in the way. The trade just works. Okay, we move the runner down. And theoretically speaking, we should keep running here, but we don't really have anything else in the way. Maybe come down and retest VWAP. So I'm hoping this runner can keep going. And if it can't, that's okay. All right, my runner is out. Golden ruler moves down. And we now have this trend line here. The only thing I could think of as a potential area was this low here. But I am going to take this bearish, this signal here. If it can come back and get me. Yep, there we go. I'm going to come down and retest VWAP. Okay, we hit our first target. We move our runner to... Okay, move our runner here. All right, my runner's out. Good trade. Good trade, good trade. Okay, so let's delete some lines here. Let's regroup. We do move the golden ruler to here, which changes our trend line a little bit. This is actually a trigger lower. I missed it. Okay, here we go. It's a very small, very, very small trade. May not work because I think the trend line might have been in the way. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have taken that trade because this trend line was in the way. It's okay. Now we have this bullish trade, which we could take. And our target's going to be here. Golden ruler moves down. I might move my target a little bit lower because I'm looking at the 5-minute EMA. It might present an issue for us. Okay. So this is where the 5-minute EMA is. I'm going to try to take my first set of profits around there. Retest the 5-minute 8 EMA. Probably, knowing that, I probably should just move my trade to break even in case it decides to. There we go. All right. We have a runner now. Okay, we hit target. My runner's locked in at 5 points. See if we can keep going higher here. All right, let me delete this line. This is not valid. We're breaking through this trend line, which is great. I would like for this to keep going higher if we can. I'm giving this runner some room. If we could break up here, which we did, I can move the runner now. All right. All right, runner got taken out. Good trade, good trade. This is going to be our next trigger higher here if we get it. All right, we didn't get it. All right. We do get a bearish trigger, but we have the EMA and the trend line in the way, so we can't take this bearish. Okay, this is gonna be my... Oop, missed it. Missed it. Apparently buyers were thinking the same thing. This was the trigger higher here. And then the runner is running now. Probably gonna go retest 800 again, I would imagine. Golden ruler does move up. All right, runner is out. Delete this line here, it's no longer valid. We are getting a lower high right there, so might be want to be careful when we're in this area. Okay, let's get the runner out of the way. This is a trigger, but we can't take it. 800 trend line. We will mark it though. Almost immediate rejection at 800. Technically speaking, even though it doesn't seem like it, this was the bearish trigger. Kind of an inverted hammer, rejection off 800. And then it hit target, and now we're in this bearish trade with a runner right here. The runner is still running. Runner is still running. All right. Retesting golden ruler, probably going to break it. Oh, maybe not. Sometimes the price action surprises me. Sometimes I'm like, okay, well, that's did exactly what I thought it was going to do. All right, so here we can draw an upward trend line, and if we break it to the downside, like this candle here, this will be our signal to go bearish. If it holds, it goes up, well, then we don't take the trade, right? All right, so The golden ruler is still holding. If we get a bullish trigger here, we might not be able to take it because of this downward trend line. And if we get the bearish trigger right here, we can't take it because of the golden ruler. We really need the bearish signal candle to break through all this. So it did trigger, but we can't take it. All right, so the bearish trade didn't work as expected. We do also have this trend line here too. We have a double trend line that's almost the same. Let me adjust this one. All right, I'm gonna adjust this one. This is a trigger to go higher, but we can't take it. But I will mark it. And there we go, it didn't work. And this also triggered lower here, but we were in the middle of that bullish trade. So, but I feel like this is probably a decent candle to take bearish. Yeah, it already worked. All right, golden ruler moves up. Let's go. Yeah, both candles worked. Right now, our runner is gonna be right here. Okay, runner's out. This is a trigger higher, but we can't take it. Okay. Okay, so retesting the golden ruler here. I am going to draw a new upward trend line right here. And it's almost the same trend line. So let me just delete this and draw this one instead. So this is a bearish trigger. We're also still in the bullish trigger. All right, so the bullish trade did stop out. You're still in the bearish trade. Although now we're running into potentially the 21 EMA on the 5-minute. It's right around 72. So we could be getting a bounce here. We did hit the target. And we move our runner to break even for now. This is the bounce I'm talking about. Potentially could just fail. All right, we are failing. Going to redraw this line like that. Okay, we get the runner still running. So the runner was taken out So technically speaking, this is a trigger to go lower. We missed it. Maybe it comes back up. That stinks. We missed it. Golden ruler does move down. Let's keep track of the runner here. The runner just got taken out. Now this might be too big before we hit VWAP, so I'm not going to take this lower. The better trade was the one before it. Golden ruler does move down again, actually. This never triggered. This is your downward trend line now, which means this will be your trigger to go higher, but we have the EMA in the way. All right. This would be a trigger lower, and then we can't take it because of the VWAP. We'll see what happens. We're also at this low here. Where did my... I think I deleted my golden ruler by accident. Okay. Go ahead and add it back. Golden rod. Okay. Yeah, the other thing I want to point out, thanks for bringing that up, is this is the MNQ VWAP, whereas the NQ VWAP is a little bit sooner at 55. All right, double bottom here. No longer a double bottom. All right, this is a trigger to go lower. I don't know if I like it now. I'm going to probably pass now that we're above the VWAP, because it triggered below 50, but its buyers are stepping in, so why get into a trade that's going against you? And now this is a trigger to go higher, but can't take it. Excuse me. All right, we're getting another potential shot at this. See if sellers really want to do it. All right, we're in. All right, we need this thing to calm back down. Doesn't look like it wants to. All right, I think it worked. Yep. Now we have a runner. Let's get this out of the way. Runner moves down. Golden ruler moves down. Runner moves down. Beautiful runner so far. All right, runner's out. Good trade. Okay, let's recompose ourselves here. This would be a trigger higher, but we got all sorts of resistance above our heads. And then this is simultaneously a trigger lower because we rejected off all those levels. So we have two trades that are going on at the same time right now, which is never a good thing. All right, so the bearish trade stopped out. Yep. Bullish trade, which was the initial trigger, still working. All right, it did hit target. Our runner is at break even at the moment. Golden ruler moves down. Okay, runner moves up. Runner moves up again. Okay, the runner's been taken out. This is going to be a bearish trigger here. Assuming we have room. Yeah, we have room. If it doesn't trigger, I'm canceling it. Yep. If this triggers higher, we can't take it. Trend line is in the way. And if it triggers right here, we can't take it either to the downside. It's technically right on top of the EMA, so it wouldn't count as a trigger anyway. All right, this is a trigger higher. Whoa. What happened? Was there news or something? It hit its target very quickly. Our runner's at break even. Runner's taken out. We have this new macro trend line now. And now we're in another wedge, so we can't really take any trades in any direction at the moment. This would be a trigger to go higher, but we can't take it. This signal candle here, if it triggers higher. I don't know if we have enough room to take this before VWAP. Yes, we do. Okay, this is a bearish trigger. It's very small. Retesting VWAP. All right, it's almost there. Come on. There we go. And we have a runner. Can we break through VWAP and keep going down is the question. So far, so good. I locked in 5 points on the runner. All right, my runner is out, but so is the markets. Okay. Good trade. Very small window there. Very, very, very small window, but this might be a trigger to go higher and see if we have enough room. We don't. So I'm going to skip this one. It looks super pretty too. I'm just trying to follow my rules. You know, normally this candle would be an A+ setup, right? You have break of the downtrend, break of the EMA, bouncing off VWAP, but we're still in an overall downtrend, unfortunately. So it is having a hard time. It's also bumping up into the 5-minute, 21, and 8 EMAs right here in this area, in this zone. All right, it is 11 o'clock. Just wanted to point that out because we've been trading now for an hour and a half. So we did hit the target, and the runner has been taken out. We have this line now. Our golden ruler technically would have moved up to here. Yep. All right, we did get a trigger to go lower right here. Can't take it though because of this trend line. All right, we did hit target. Move the runner down. Retesting VWAP and 750. We're going right through it though. All right. We are approaching a potential area of support here. We have the low, higher low. I'm gonna go ahead and mark the actual session low for now. Retesting golden ruler, which is right here, this low. Runner is still running. All right, we broke through this support. See, sellers are really putting their foot on the gas now. Our golden ruler moves up to the top. And our runner is still running. Runner's been taken out. Retesting the bottom of the range today. We're very extended, so I don't know if I want to go short here. I think I'm going to wait for a better setup. And thankfully I didn't take that bearish. We would have gotten stopped out. So this trigger really wasn't based on anything. So it looks attractive. We really need to come back to an EMA or a standard deviation level and retest some things. So now if we go bearish again, it's because we broke this trend line and we can potentially take it. So I'm going to go ahead and be patient here. We're approaching VWAP again and the EMA. It'd be really interesting to see if we get a rejection or a continuation to the upside. And this looks like a rejection. If this candle triggers lower, I still can't take it because we're still in this upward trend line, but I will mark it. Okay, so it did trigger lower. It's probably going to work. All right, yeah, it worked. Okay. It's one of those situations that I gotta think about. Like, if we get the trigger, but we're already outside of the trend line, do we take it? I'll have to do some back testing there to figure that out. Should keep track of the runner now. The runner is at break even, so. All right, runner moves slightly down now. Okay, runner is out. Good. All right, so we have two trend lines we're going to be drawing. We have this trend line, which is the macro trend line. And let's get this out of the way. And then we have this trend line here. We might be getting a potential bearish setup here. Rejection off the, but we need this to break through that trend line. There we go. Okay, here we go. This is going to be a bearish setup. Okay, let's go down. Let's move this up. Doesn't look like it wants to work, but it's fine. I would consider this an A+ setup, but doesn't look like it wants to work. Yeah, I'm not really liking this price action here. Okay. There's hope. Retested my stop loss. Can you come down now? And really, really flush. Okay, come on and flush, sellers. Come on, bears. What I am noticing is this. So if we can break this, it'll come down. And it looks like it wants to do it. There we go. Okay. Come on. Okay, we're almost there. Moving my stop loss to break even at this point. Like, it's either going to work or not. It just needs to come down. I would prefer it goes down. All right. There we go. That trade literally was a game of inches. In a game of inches. I'm so glad it was a winner. My goodness. That'll do a lot to your mindset, let me tell you. Okay, so we got this. I need to draw some updated trend lines here. Technically, this trade's still not over. We haven't hit it. Although, if you want to be technical, we did get stopped out up here. And the target is really here now. They're almost the same target. I'm just going to wait. We're kind of in a really weird section. Our golden ruler does move down, though. I did have opportunities to add 50%, but I would have been able to take it off like right here. But I'm okay with not adding today. So I just finished Group A, believe it or not. So I'm switching over to Group B right now. I'm just starting to take Group B. If I would have added to some trades earlier, I probably would have finished Group A sooner. But I'm trying to keep my... Yeah, I'm trying to keep my my stop losses at a minimum today. Especially with how choppy the price action is. But when I get more confident in my strategy, I probably will be adding some more. So this did trigger higher. We can't take it, but we'll keep track of it. You know what was crazy was I was thinking about adding right here. That would have been quite the ad right at the top of the move, and it would have given me a nice nice like 2-to-1 trade, or I should say my profit would have been twice as big on this trade. But I am very happy with the way I'm trading today. I mean, if you can make money in these choppy waters, you can make money in any environment, right? What's interesting though is like even if I took a loss there, it wasn't that bad. It was only going to be like $170 loss or something like that. So when you're sizing things appropriately, it doesn't make you as nervous, you know? But if you oversize, you might even exit the trade prematurely. So we're still technically in this bearish trade that hasn't stopped out yet and hasn't hit its target. All right, all the targets and all the trades have been hit. This candle basically took care of that. So let's keep track of the runner. Runner's right here. Let's delete everything else. Okay, the runner has been being tested. Okay. We did make a new low, so that actually moves our golden ruler down as well. I don't think the runner was taken out here. It's, oh, well. Do you think the runner was taken out now? I don't know what that was. You know, actually that would have sucked if I was actually still in this trade. My stop loss, even though it was down here, might have gotten filled somewhere up here. Because of how violent that move was. Alright, so let's figure out where we're at right now. This triggered higher, we couldn't take it. We noticed it went all the way up to the 50 and the VWAP levels and immediate rejection. I believe we also have the 5-minute ADMA up here as well. But we now have some new trend lines. So let's draw those out real quick. Our golden ruler does move down. So we also have a bearish trigger as well as this bullish one here. So the bullish trade didn't work. Bearish trade is still in progress. All right, the bearish trade just hit its target. And now we have a runner at break even. All right, team, I'm probably going to wrap it up here. We've been trading for almost 2 hours. We were able to navigate these choppy waters. We had a very decent win rate today of 75%. Very, very happy with that result. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and let me know, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. As always, thank you for your time, and we will talk again, and I'll be trading again on Monday, the 22nd. Have a great weekend, everybody.